Falsely thoughts, race, life's a twisted place. No time to erase. I just keep the
Well, can I get a name, please?
Just call me HT.
RAHT. Are you at least 18? And did you
Yeah.
disagree with what I have on the board?
Yeah.
Great. What did you disagree? Why are leftist policies bad for society?
So I wanna know your position on abortion.
Yeah, a woman
'Cause-
should have a right to do what she like with her own body. I think I get the cutoff at about 21, 22 weeks, because that's when I consider it human.
Well, the baby, it's its own body though. So when would you agree that life starts?
Life starts at conception. I don't have an issue with that. I'm talking about personhood.
So all right, if life starts at conception, what species is that fetus or
Human.
embryo? It's human. So why does it not deserve human rights?
Because it's not a person.
Tell me your reasoning.
Because I give personhood when they have basically conscious experience, and that happens around 21 to 22 weeks. Before that,
So would you say
before that, a zygote has no experience, so a zygote is not a person.
okay?
Even you would agree that a zygote is not a person, because I can give you a scenario. If you have
So-
1,000 zygotes in one room and a 3-month-old baby in another room, and the building is falling apart, which one are you going to save? The zygote or the 3-month-old baby?
Well, that's just a moral thing. I'd have a more moral connection to the person that's
Exactly.
a
So you
bit
agree
further
with
into
me.
development.
Uh-huh.
But that
So you agree with
doesn't.
me. So zygotes aren't persons. So I don't get
So
like
all right, what you said is if it can't have a conscious experience, then it shouldn't deserve to live. So
Know what I
what
said?
about people in comas?
People in comas have conscious experience.
They have conscious experiences.
People in coma have conscious experience. Like there's been a massive studies on this, unless they're brain dead. But if they're in a coma, they can still have a conscious experience, because like their brain is still working. And not only that, it's been studied that they can still hear you and stuff like that. So they still have conscious experience. They're basically like in a sleep state, basically. But like sleeping doesn't mean that you're completely like not conscious, like not sentient. You don't know, like there's nothing happening there. You still have an experience. Your brain is still working. Unless you're brain dead, then it's gone.
Well, what exactly do you mean by conscious experience? Because a newborn, they can have an experience, but they won't remember it. Like a fetus,
They're still
I'm pretty
having
sure
conscious
they can have an experience.
They're still having conscious experience. They're not going to remember it, but you're still having an experience.
Yeah, a fetus could have a conscious experience too.
Not before 21, 22 weeks.
Well, when they get aborted, they try to fight it off. Is that not like an experience?
No, that's propaganda. That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. All right. So when would you say it's okay, when would you say it's okay to abort?
I will give my cutoff around 21, 22 weeks. Around that time, it's a little fuzzy between 21 and 22, but around that time, around 21, 22 weeks. Before that, there's no moral consideration for me. Like it's amoral. I don't say like right or wrong. It's basically just a choice you make. Like wearing a blue shirt isn't right or wrong. It's just a choice you make. You see what I'm saying? So before then, that's when I will be like, I'm fine with it. Also, anytime after that is only when the mother's life is in danger, or like there's a ectopic pregnancy. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but there's some pregnancy where they're born outside of the fallopian tubes, which means it could kill the mother. So around those times, I would say after that.
But if it's endangering the mother, it's still moral to try to save both lives with a cesarean section.
Sometimes it's not possible. So
most of the time with modern medicine, I mean 100% of the time actually, with medicine and a cesarean section, you could try to save both lives. But in those very rare cases,
both sides. Yeah, you can try to save both lives. If you can save both lives, save both lives. I'm not against that. But if you can only save one, I'm probably going to prioritize the mother.
Okay, so what was the cutoff between 19-month and a 19-week and a 20-week or 21? Like what makes you decide
that's
that
when
it's a life?
That's when
it's not.
That's when it's a life. I'm talking about conscious experience. That's when the brain develops, and you can actually, that's when they actually having their own personhood, their own conscious experience. So I do it around that time. Let's say this, right? We can go back and forth on this all day. Instead of making abortion illegal, how come we just don't do put in policies that will make it happen less? Let's say I give it to you, right? Let's say abortion is immoral, it's wrong, et cetera, et cetera. How come we just don't put in policies to help make sure that it happens less? Like, better education system, more reproductive, like what was that thing called again? Damn it, what I'm looking for? Contraceptives. I'm sorry. Contraceptives, make those more readily available, better sex education. That would make abortions happen less. Instead of us going back and forth on one is life, one is person, yada, yada, yada. We can disagree on that all day. We're not going to get anywhere. Why not just make, if we both agree to have less abortions, let's put in policies to have less abortions. Why not that? And that's where leftist policies come from. If you want less abortions, you should support leftist policies.
Well, there should be no abortions, in my opinion.
Then you should support leftist policies.
Well, no, because I want it completely banned. Other than with the small exception of if it's completely endangering the life of the mother.
What about rape and incest?
I still think it deserves life.
So you think a 12-year-old who got raped by her uncle should have the baby?
Yeah, that is my view.
That's horrifying.
Well, it's just like
that's pretty fucking horrifying, bro. A 12-year-old got raped by her uncle and she should have that baby. That's pretty fucking terrifying. That's
well, I don't think the baby should be killed or not. Well,
again, most abortions happen before they even have a conscious experience. It's a zygote. There's nothing there.
May I chime in, host?
No.
Would that be okay?
Not yet. It's a zygote. There's nothing there. There's a timer here, guys. So there's a timer.
It's just the time of development and still a human life. Like so it should have human rights.
No, not necessarily.
No, well, it should. I mean, also, I give consideration to human life. Like, I'm not completely like saying fuck them, right? They can still have human rights. Like I get you on that part, right? But whose right supersedes the other? I say the mother right supersedes the zygote. Well, the line is if another person's gonna die. If that person is not gonna die, then there's no point from eliminating the baby.
I have no issue what you're saying. What say that again?
So I said the only time where it's okay is where if it's going to like kill the mom.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not gonna do that, there's no reason why you should kill the baby.
A zygote isn't a baby, bro.
Well, yes, it is.
It's not.
So
it's definitionally not.
Well, it's a human, just in early stages.
It's a human clump of cells. Yes, I agree with you. There is a human clump of cells.
Well, you're a human clump of cells.
Yes, I am.
So how does that? I
have a conscious experience. I can talk to you, can I?
Okay, so all right, you think there's people not out? You think there's no people outside of the womb that don't have conscious experience?
If they're brain dead, they're not having a conscious experience at that point.
Well, you don't have to be completely brain dead to not have a conscious experience.
When is the time when is the time that you're alive and not having a conscious experience?
If you're in a coma.
People in a coma have conscious experience. You can talk to people in a coma and they can remember it. They have a conscious experience, bro.
So how do you not know how do you know that's not happening for a baby?
Because they don't have the brain capacity for it. The zygotes and fetuses before 21 weeks don't have that.
Well, no, but people in comas, you think they have a conscious experience?
Yes, you can still talk to them. The brain is still working.
All right, well, let's say if they're in a coma and they don't have a conscious experience.
So they're brain dead?
I guess.
Unplug them. I've had to make this decision before. When I was young, my grandmother was brain dead, and me and my family had to unplug her. She was gone.
No, all right. Well, even though it's just the stage of life. I think it it's just like that early stage of life. It should
You think that they should leave it alone? Yes. Okay, cool. That's all good and well. Why not just leave it up to the couple or leave it up to the woman? They should talk about it. I think me and you would agree
Because I don't think murder is right.
Fine. I don't think murder is good either. But murder is an unjustified killing. Right now, you think that this would be unjustified, but that's not up to you. That's up to the woman or up to the family. It's okay. That's just your opinion, bro.
All right, wait. Yeah, what makes it justified?
It makes it justified if it's a 12-year-old who got raped by her uncle. That's 100% justified. It's 100% justified if it's a grown woman and she got raped. It's 100% justified if it's a 19-year-old and she cannot take care of this baby. She cannot do it. It's completely justified.
No, well, it's not justified because what does the baby have to do anything with that? It doesn't deserve to be killed just for the
zygotes and fetuses before 21 weeks aren't babies, bro. Zygotes are not babies, bro. I'm sorry, they're not.
Well, they're humans.
No, they're not. It's a clump of cells, bro.
They're not humans.
Zygotes.
You literally said
zygotes are a clump of human cells. So and besides, it's not up to you to justify any of this. It's up to the people who are in the situation.
Well, no.
Again. If you don't want abortions to happen, you should support the policies that make them less, shouldn't you?
No, I should support the policies that completely remove it.
And that's going to increase the illegal ones, wouldn't it?
well, what? You can't control the people who are just going to do it illegally.
Exactly. So that means that if it's going to happen illegally, it does make sense. It does make sense. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. It does make sense. It does make sense because if you make it illegal and people are going to do it the illegal way, you're going to put more women in danger. So why would you put more women in danger?
Dude, that completely doesn't make sense. If the weed was legal,
I need you to answer my question. If you make it illegal, people will do it the illegal way. We've seen it happen not only back in the days, but even in modern times. Countries who make it illegal have an upshoot of illegal abortions, and it puts women in danger.
that doesn't make sense because. What?
Yeah, so half the babies being aborted are. So how are you putting?
Hold on, sorry, I didn't hear you. Everybody, pause real quick. Sorry about that. My mic went out. I didn't hear you.
So that point doesn't make sense at all because if weed was legal and it turned illegal, obviously there's going to be an upspring of people doing it illegally. That's literally just common sense, and that doesn't add anything to the argument because it doesn't.
Weed does not put people in. Well, it depends on what you're doing, but yeah, exactly. This is one of the reasons why they made weed more legal in order for people to be safer. That's exactly the reason why they did that.
Yeah, well, I just said just completely disproved that point where it should be legal because people are going to do it illegally. That's
not what I said. That's not what I said.
Could I chime in?
What I said. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, his time is up. But give me 1 second. What I'm trying to say is that when it comes to the situation, whenever they made abortions illegal, that increased the rates of not only legal abortions and back alley abortions, but it put women in danger. Weed doesn't necessarily put people in danger because most potheads are just doing it at home unless they drive or some shit. Hold on. Most potheads aren't putting people in danger, just at home smoking weed. But when it comes to back alley abortions, those actually kill people. So instead of putting women in danger and killing them, why not just put in policies so we make sure that if it does happen, it happens safely and it happens less often? Why not just do that?
It's not safe for the baby. Well, this
zygotes aren't babies, bro. All right, man. All right. Go ahead. Trump prophet.